Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe, peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the Trillion Dollar Tickers broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. We're running two shows every day. This is the pre-market setup, and we'll be back at the market open and break down live price action, momentum, and execution. So make sure you tap in for both. Remember, I watch the market, give the breaking news, and find the levels so you don't have to. This is the pre-market briefing. We are entering April with the indices trying to build on yesterday's massive relief rally. That 3:40 a.m. floor from yesterday is just a memory. Today we're charting a new path and we have heavy data coming out today. We already had some come out earlier, but we got some more coming out later. All right, let's get into the mantra. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, so when it comes to this data, let me put it up on the screen. Here it is. So we had core retail sales month over month. This is a clear beat. Stronger retail spending shows a resilient consumer, but it keeps the inflation master in control, potentially making the Fed more comfortable with higher rates for longer. And then we also had retail sales month over month, which also came in higher. So this is shows strength in core spending and is helping the futures maintain their green status as we approach the open. Yes, so we are green so far in the pre-market. So as you can see, at 7 o'clock, we have a red folder, ISM Manufacturing PMI, and also an orange folder, ISM Manufacturing Prices. And then we have a red folder at 6 p.m. The market will be closed, but we do have Trump speaking at 6 p.m. All right, let's get into Robert Greene's daily law. Never outshine the master. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please and impress, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite by inspiring fear and insecurity. Mastery requires understanding the egos and insecurities of those in power, as outshining a master is a fatal mistake that invites resentment. By making your superiors appear more brilliant than they are, you secure your own position and clear the path to the heights of power. Fulfilling your life's tasks in a hierarchy means letting the sun radiate while you work strategically within its light. In long-term investing, the master is the market's primary trend, and trying to outshine it by timing every bottom is often a fatal exercise in ego. If you alienate yourself from the macro reality of the fear and greed index at 14, you risk blowing up your portfolio trying to prove you are smarter than the collective angst. Mastering your portfolio is about allowing the market to dictate the timeline while you strategically acquire value beneath the surface. Your uniqueness as an investor is found in your humility to let the sun of the major indices radiate while you build your wealth in its orbit. Respecting the master's current bearish trend allows you to survive long enough to see the next bull cycle fruition. When it comes to active traders fail when they try to outshine the price action by forcing a bias that the price hasn't confirmed yet. Your task is to play the role of court gesture to the data, reacting with speed and accuracy to what is given, not what you think should happen. If your rational mind thinks the market is wrong, you are trying to outshine the master, and that is where stupidity becomes fatal. True power comes from sensing the overall dynamic of the 7 a.m. ISM block and positioning yourself as an echo of that move. Trust the sensations of the chart over your desire to be right, and you will reach the heights of execution. All right. Stay patient, stay disciplined, execution over emotion, process over prediction. Now let's get on these charts, y'all. Okay, we have SPY here starting first. SPY in the pre-market is at 653. So it looks like it ran up till about 4:50 a.m. and then it started dropping. I bet some news came out at 4:50. But to the downside support, we got 653. Underneath that, we got the pre-market low, 651.96, followed by 651.55, 650, and then 648.80. To the upside resistance, we got 654.85, followed by 657.30, then the pre-market high of 657.51, 658.50, and 660.50. QQQ, same thing. Ran up till about 450 and then started falling. Okay, so current price 581.23. To the downside support, we do have the pre-market low of 579.51, followed by a weekly level of 577.30, and then 575.55. To the upside resistance, we have 584.60, followed by the pre-market high of 585.17, 585.70, and then 588.20. Check out the VIX right quick. The VIX is at 25 right now, 25.09. NVDA, current price in the pre-market, 175.84. Downside support, we have 175, a weekly level, followed by the pre-market low at 174.79, 173.60, 172.70. To the upside resistance, we have our daily level of 177.20, followed by the pre-market high 177.32, 177.85, 179.30, and 180.50. Apple currently in the pre-market, we're at 254.06. To the downside support, we have the pre-market low. Well, it's making new pre-market lows right now, so we'll skip that. Downside support, we have 253.40, 252, 250.85. To the upside resistance, we have 254.65, 255, pre-market high, 255.70, 256.50, 257, and 258. Google currently in the pre-market is at 289.90. To the downside support, we have the pre-market low 288.03, followed by 287.80, 285, 282.85. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 291.71, followed by 292.20, 296. Tesla currently in the pre-market at 378.20. To the downside support, we got 374.88, which is the pre-market low, followed by 371.20, 368, and 365.45. To the upside resistance, we got 379.30, followed by the pre-market high of 381.19, followed by 384.30, 387.50, and 391.10, which is a weekly level. Next, we have Microsoft, currently in the pre-market at 374.14. To the downside support, we have the pre-market low of 373.11, followed by 371.85, 369.60, and then 365.35. To the upside resistance, we have the pre-market high at 376.55, followed by the weekly level of 377.40, and then 379.70 and 381.70. Next, we have Amazon, currently in the pre-market at 209.79. To To the downside support, we have 209.44, followed by 208.20, 207.10, which is the beginning of the gap, and the gap ends at 206.58, and then 205.70. To the upside resistance, we have the pre-market high of 211.20, followed by 211.65, 212.90, and then a weekly level at 213.20. Next, we have TSM, which is currently in the gap in the pre-market at 342.54. To the downside support, it is basically right at this weekly level here at 342.40. And then we have the pre-market low of 340.70, followed by 336.70, 331.80. To the upside resistance, we have the pre-market high at 345.13, followed by 347.70 and 350.45. Next, we have Meta, currently in the pre-market at 577. To the downside support, we have 574.34, which is the pre-market low. With this big run yesterday, let me see. Let me grab a level right here. We got a level here at 568.60. And then 560. That's all I got to the downside. All right, to the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high, which is very close to our 1 hour level here at 579.40, followed by the entry into the gap, which will be 583. The gap ends at 593, but we do have two levels inside this gap at 585 and 587.25. All right, next we have AVGO in the pre-market is 312.94. To the downside support, we have the pre-market low, which is very close to our daily level at 310.71, followed by 306.30. To the upside resistance, we have the pre-market high of 315.66, followed by 316.90, and then a weekly level of 319.50. Next, we have brk.b, currently in the pre-market. It's at the pre-market lows of 479.54. Pre-market high is 481.41. All right, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Set your alerts on those levels. We'll be back at the market open to see which levels hit and which levels did not. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.